This is so different. And then they just keep turning.
We're going to visit a little interesting German position in Holland, out by the coast. Obviously, now forts have always been placed here, especially to guard the entrance of the port of Rotterdam. Always an extremely important port, both today and then, as it was for the Germans during the war. So large forts were constructed here to protect it, such as the interesting coastal fort built in 1881. This I will take you through later. But just up from that fort, on the coast, the Germans constructed a lot of the usual Atlantic Wall defenses. Some incorporated pre-war Dutch bunkers dating back to World War I. Usually these bunkers are huge and hugely reinforced. They're large and very impressive. Many of them here, however, have been destroyed or are now incorporated into actual living, and a World War II museum out here by the coast. By the beach behind the Marine Artillery Observation Bunker for the 15-centimeter coastal guns, I found a series of interconnected bunkers. These were very different from what I've seen before elsewhere. One very frustrating thing about exploring bunkers from the war in Holland is that many of them are simply locked or closed off for various reasons, unlike in Denmark or Norway. However, a couple of teenagers on vacation caught me and offered to show me the non-official entrance, and how could I possibly turn that down? On the way driving there, I passed the first bunker I see, to the back of the beach area. It's clearly a road pillbox, but it's also of a different layout than what I've seen before. Simple, but it's different. That makes it interesting.
And here, watching the road down to 1881, and on the back of the command centers we found, it's another little guy here. The construction does look World War II German. It does have a Germanic feel to it. It does have a World War II feel to it. It's not exactly what I am used to seeing the Germans build, though. So you literally have firing ports in all directions. This is pretty much just a covered trench. Large firing position. This is just a room with firing ports in every direction. It's a very small little L shape. I'm wondering if there's a book on the roof. Okay, the walls are quite thick. About a meter thick. Or there's a cement something on the roof. I'm wondering why. This is a very interesting little firing position, to be quite honest. There's only one small hallway, and yet you have 7 firing positions. Of course, this bunker, with all its firing positions, this really just was a covered firing position that would control that road, and that road leading down to the harbors.
Continuing round the area that is extremely overgrown, not making it any easier to find anything, I'm going to start at the fire control bunker, right here.
And this is something I recognize. First of all, we have a whole bunch of really antipathetic plants. And then we have fire control bunker in here, facing the ocean. And that's nicely covered up, and this is great in front of the window because, as we all now know, the Dutch seem to have a bat fetish. Well, let's see if we can't get through. Well, I did something to it here. It's a little bit, I'm gonna say more accessible, but yeah. Good old-fashioned command post, fire control for the positions here facing out over the sea for Festung Holland. These we know. You recognize the shape by now, even from above. This is interesting. It's actually quite interesting. This I have not seen before. Huh. And here we have ventilation, I would assume. And here's a cage, testament to the bat fetish of the Dutch. One thing that I have no understanding for. Not that I have anything against bats, but when you button up history, and yeah, I know somebody broke through the fence here, but that's not doing me any good because they bricked everything up inside. And all the doors. Atlantic Wall Museum, great. That's close. Probably a bat moved in there. Now you can say a lot about the Dutch. Windmills, moving bunkers about, bat fetishes. But, and I know a thing or two about the Dutch. First of all, I played one on TV, on the last TV show I was on, because, having been born in Denmark, everybody at Universal figured I spoke Dutch. I thought I winged it pretty good. Anyway, Holland and Denmark are two different countries. My European friends, you know this. Some of my American friends do not know. But Dutch, Denmark, Dutch, Danish, I get it. But still, it's not the same.
This is the Marine Artillery Observation Bunker. And obviously here in the area there was 10.5 centimeter flak guns and steel domes. There were searchlights, rangefinders, large and small artillery positions, and then there was this. I have not exactly found out yet what was in here and what the use was, but the construction of the running trenches I've never before seen on an Atlantic wall, so I had to show you.
It's time for one of those little unrecognized explorations, because what do you do when the government, all these people, the man, closes up all the bunkers, locks everything, protects the bats? Oh, what about liability? Ooh. You find a couple of teenage kids and you ask them what the way in is. I did. They told me. I'm going.
Now the young ones wanted my opinion about spending the night in the bunkers, notwithstanding what their parents might have thought. So they tagged along, and therefore it's going to be a little unruly camera work, but it was nice to be followed by enthusiasm.
Close defensive position, as to be expected. Full of sand, which is also to be expected.
Yeah, a few lights and you go.
Yeah, and a little paint on the wall.
Yeah.
Just run through it clean. Defensive position. And another exit. Firing port up to here. And it's the exit, which is interesting because There was a wooden panel sitting on there. There's a wooden panel sitting on that wall right in front of the close defensive position. Why?
I think there was a door for working.
There must have been an out. There must have been, yeah.
Yeah.
A regular door for the door out or into something else. Oh, wait a minute, I have to turn this off. Yeah, I see daylight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's outside. Alright, well that's fair enough. It's just funny that the defensive position is there and not here in front of the door or outside the door pointing at it.
Now you can just go inside.
Yeah, you could hide, you can come in here if you can. So there must be some sort of defensive position outside on the other side to guard the door. There always was.
My little chair.
Ah. That's funny, I know the Germans always built things to look the same everywhere because it was easier and cheaper. But they're still a little different. A little different than the ones in Germany. You good?
Yeah.
Holy shit. You're right about the bottles. Fuck's sake. Ooh, and here's a pipe.
Also found some weed.
Yeah, well, we're in Holland, so I would expect that. So that's where some of the other pipe came from. Yeah, this is the old ventilation pipes. Usually those are the first things to get stolen. That's really cool that they're still here. And any original writing on the wall? Anywhere? Except unoriginal writing on the wall. So if this is going, where's it going? Why are you there? Why is that thing there? Why is that there? Supposed to fence, air, and water.
Natuurlijk. Zo zien.
Wish they would stop with all the graffiti so you can actually read what it said. Okay, this is interesting.
It's locked up.
That was the door.
Yeah.
Is it a door out?
Oh yeah, it's door out.
Or was it okay?
Little gap.
Yeah, they painted over everything in here, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, that explains why there's the defensive position there.
Je bent ook gewoon iemand aan de baan.
And more pipes that are leading somewhere else.
Yeah.
You got a, yeah, there's a room in here, right?
Naast die ene hier SS alles. Ja, nog een drie.
I wonder if this is new.
Oh, deze deur is dicht gemaakt. Daar kan je het raam zien. Oh nee, het is gewoon deze.
Ah,
Zo'n mooi naakje van een mooi explore.
Zo.
Waar heeft Joris de liedjes vandaan?
Wat?
Joris maakt gewoon als hij liedjes heeft beter.
Ik heb ook weer goed gemaakt. Ik zit er maar gewoon weer. Ga je weg thuis?
Wat doen? Wat is dit?
Is de muur.
Waar sta ik nu?
Ja, jullie samen niet genoeg willen drinken hier hoor. Een stukje muur.
technical tunnel for cables that would go.
Waar is waar is
Hij is doodstil.
het logo van Vince?
But you're right, this is pretty big.
Dus de junkie gat.
Yes, hier staat hier much bottles.
There's no writing on the wall, nothing original. The Germans always wrote stuff on the wall, what it was, where things went. That's original cables. For the light, okay, fine.
Here's a really big long hallway with quite a few rooms.
Oh, I love those.
They're all quite similar
Yeah,
to the
but
one
this
right
is
there.
different. Usually the Germans wouldn't build in brick.
What is this?
That's right above ground.
Do you know what was this? This long way.
Let's see. Look at it.
Wat was hier?
Okay.
It's just a really long hall.
Yes.
That's. You're right. It's actually interesting. So usually, if there was a shorter hall, they would have been like they would put a cannons in and roll them out. But this is too long. This is more like a shelter, but it wouldn't be a shelter because then it wouldn't have straight open. Then there would be a bend. So if a bomb landed out here, it wouldn't just
Yeah.
kill everybody in here.
Yeah.
This is. Well, I think this wall didn't used to be here. This is new. If you look at if you look at this cement, it doesn't look like this cement. And these bricks are different than these bricks. So there'll be, this hallway would continue that way. And it's pretty crappy, so with a sledgehammer we could want to take a few hours, we'll probably get through there, but yeah, this would run through here. Because they patched it. You see the ceiling keeps going in.
Hier, sla maar terug naar.
Ja,
Aan de andere kant. Dat gaat niet werken.
Ik wil echt weten wat hierachter zit.
We gaan nu gewoon een keer met de hamer in komen.
Ja, en dan zitten we daar een paar uur op te slaan.
Leuk toch?
And the Germans didn't used to build a lot in red brick. Everything was cement and rebar. But yeah, all this sand would be gone. Underneath there's a flat cement floor.
Yeah.
Also in the tunnel, there's just so much sand that comes in. But people were shorter back then. That's just that little detail there.
Maar gaan we vragen wie? U ziet het hier nog.
I know somebody who might know. Now, this is really interesting. I love these. You weren't kidding about this whole tunnel thing.
Hier staat het door.
Here's the door, you need to go around it. It's really small, but
Yeah, that's a new door. Yeah, that's not gonna stop me. Really? And there's another. What happened?
it's really big.
It really is. You crawl through there and this is bolted in place. Okay.
En hier hebben we geprobeerd te graven.
Nee, dat is niet.
I've never seen anything like this before in World War II on the Atlantic Wall. Wow. Holy shit.
Here's a ladder, I think.
That's the emergency exit.
Yeah,
Or up to a Tobruk.
it's blocked up on the other.
Of course. Why is this not a museum?
Yeah.
I mean, it's dry, it's clean, it's safe. It's interesting.
This is a really cool room.
That's a Tobruk, right? That's a machine gun position up there.
But it's close to the top.
Wow. What the hell? Yeah. So there's an out. And here's an out.
There are really big rooms here.
I know. I don't know, but okay. So this is where the. Okay, this is where the.
Pipes here.
These are the at least the original pipes right here. 1410. This is made with stencil.
En hier zijn we niet geweest.
Dit is dit.
Oh ja, maar je bent wel.
Ja, wel. En daar kun je ook naar boven.
Ja, maar dit is een heel ander materiaal. And what is this? These walls look very authentic.
Oh, they are.
Well, what is this?
That's the emergency exit. This would be full of sand, so you can't see it from upstairs.
Yeah.
And then if you needed to get out, there would be a door, you'd open it, you pull out, all the sand will fall out, and you could climb up if the doors were blocked.
Yeah.
And this is insulated with the original hay. This is original insulation on the walls. So this could probably have been a command center if we can find enough cables.
But what's this?
Close defense. You'd put a machine gun here to defend the door, so you could see who's coming. But but that's here too. So you're defending.
Yeah,
This is
like quite an important room.
well, it was important because this is where you would have a close defensive. You could see anybody coming into the bunker and defend it here. But then there's two of them leading to. I mean, this must have been the command center of this part of the Atlantic Wall, because there's so much space, so much room. The water tanks sometimes. This could have been the top of the water tank. They had really big 1,000-liter water tanks in some of the rooms. And after the war, the scrappers took all the metal, and the water tanks were easy to get. It looks like this is part of it. Now, if we can find any electrical cables or anything, there would be a radio room somewhere. Like here, you can see something was hanging on the wall here.
Yes.
They put whatever this was hanging here, and then they insulated it around. So this could have been just falling apart. There would be a tactical something sitting right there. And then there's these.
Een beetje vaag.
This is new. This I haven't seen before.
Kom, ga vragen of we hier kunnen slapen en hem gewoon. Of het kan. Maar
Kun je vragen maar.
Nou, dat kan sowieso, want er hebben al best wel wat mensen.
Hé, Loek, hier zo.
Air vent.
Oh, ik had iets cooler verwacht.
Or there would have been a bunker oven in here as well.
Oh shit.
Just the crap sitting up there. But They're probably...
Scherm dood. Dode meisje naar beneden van. Wat viel? Dood, nee, ik weet niet. Gewoon fel. Gewoon loes.
And here's something hanging on this wall as well, in front of these. And I don't know what that was. I've never seen grooves like that before.
For what were all these gaps?
I don't know. I've done this for 40 years. I've never seen indents like that. This is definitely German. What they could be is you put wood in here, and then you'd have something they're just too big. They're just because they would put wood in the walls so they could mount stuff on the wood, because you couldn't drill in the cement. But these are too. I mean, there's wood in the bottom one, but there would have been a bigger piece, I would think.
Het lijkt op schaals.
I am looking forward to finding out what was here.
Hé, maar Joris, kijk even online, wat je hier ook kan vinden.
So there's one close to the fence, this is the other. And these are wood. Usually they're not wood. They make them wood because then if they shoot, if they're steel or they're concrete, the bullets would ricochet.
Ja.
If they're wood, they would just end up sit in the wood. But most of the Germans usually did not build wood. They would do it all cement. And you have these beautiful arches that are just
Maar ik vraag me dat je zo kunnen slapen.
really.
Oh, hier heeft ook een deur in gezeten. Ja, het scheet gelaten, jongens.
Ja.
Dit is echt niet Joris scheet.
Oh yeah, that was the outside.
En
Dat was die outside.
Een kleine tent.
Gewoon niet die outside.
Het is onder 5 minuten. Gewoon dit even vers, die schieten. You would be able to spend the night here, right?
Sure. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, there's.
Yeah, we might want to ask our parents. Really cool.
Maybe not.
I don't think the answer will be yes, but we can try.
Oh yeah, this is a little too broke. Yeah, these we know. Wooden lid, to brook, ammunition case, seat. Yeah. I've never seen anything like this. You see all these arched.
Je heeft ook iets in de buurt.
Ja?
Eén kippenspin. Maar kijk, hier heeft iets in de buurt.
Wood there as well. And here you would have the bend so that if it was explosion or anything, it would stop here, it wouldn't just travel.
Ja. Huh? Wat is dit dan? Dit is schijn.
And here you had electrical cables that was run through these. It is salt coming out of the wall, out of the stone. Yeah, with this moisture, so it pushes the salt out.
Oh.
Not dangerous, isn't it? You could probably put it on your egg in the morning, but I wouldn't recommend it. If you're desperate and stupid, I mean, yeah.
We also tried to enter this bunker like a year ago,
Yeah.
but we couldn't find any entrance.
Oh, did somebody made it?
Well, there was like a hole, and they were here yesterday, and they just kicked it in.
Oh, really?
Kicked a few stones out, and then.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so why bother locking them, right? But here it just seems to be a thing.
But these stones also do not look that authentic.
No, they're good. You can go back to the 1500s and see the same red brick. So the brick is fine. It's not a. But I have never seen tunnels like this before in the German Atlantic Wall fortification. This is really, really, I don't know what this is. And then it's tied into the cement and the rebar. You see cement and red brick together.
Is this ook satisfying? Goed kijken.
Nancy is knap.
Nancy is knap.
Now you have another close defensive position, obviously.
En dit was voor shooting?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this would look, because here's an exit, so this would cover that exit that used to be there all the way to the outside.
But there are also some museums nearby.
Yeah, I know, they're always closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're here. And
Kun je ook niet stoten.
this is wood. This is fucking wood. What? I have never seen wood. I see this and then I see cement. I've never seen wood in between these.
Hier ook.
That's wood up there too.
It's very strong, the wood.
Well, it should be. It's been here for 75 years. You would have a crew. Usually, okay. Here, you probably would have the bunks if you can follow rows of what the hell is this? So they insulated this. This is the original wall, and then they put this on, and then they put this on. So they've been here for a while, and they had plenty of time, because usually the bunkers are just like this. Could have even been something the crew had done themselves. So there would be crew compartments, and then there would be radio, there would be command. But what is strange is there's nothing on the walls, there's no holes. There should be something. Well, there's a hole, but because no matter what you did in all these rooms, you would have to drill in holes and hang up shit. And there's no holes in the walls. Of course, you have wood ceilings, which is just totally freaking me out here. I've never seen that. So that pipe, in the corner there was in a bunker oven, a little stove, a little metal stove, where you had bunker coal and they could heat up, and then the exhaust from that is what travels in the pipe. There might have been a toilet outdoors.
Yeah,
Also some holes here.
Yeah.
Oh, those are for cables. This is a cable. See this? This is an electrical cable or communication cable. This is actually important because these thick cables here could lead, if they're communication, then this could have been one of the command centers or the radio room, because these are protected by the thick pipes. It could also have been electrical, but I think this is probably communication, which is why, yeah, hey, okay, this went up to a thing and this went up to, there you see what's on the wall.
Deze zit gewoon een hele vorm daar.
But it's just strange that no writing. Germans always had writing somewhere. And even this is a nice doorway. They actually took time to build a nice little doorway. This is really something else. I just can't wait to find out what. Where did that pipe go? Where the hell did that pipe go? Okay, here's cables, I think.
Maar deze kamer is cool.
I mean,
Ik heb geen wifi.
Geen, nee.
Zo.
This is very cool.
could have held the radio. That could have held the radio. That could have had an electrical sit here. And these is what you'd put in the walls to put your cables. So you run your cables on these. And you see those little holes?
Yeah.
You had cables go through here. So this probably was where the radio was. And you can actually see there's another one over here. And you can see that outline. That could have been Mac room, command center. They would sit and work here and have the electrical, the radios, the different things they need. At least those two bolted to the wall. And then they would come out through there. That was cable ducts. So cables leading that way. This little hole there, yeah.
There's a paper pole.
That's coming from nowhere. That's a cable holder, so is that.
Is het ding te loswerken?
Voor these two things.
Zeker?
Ja, die moet maar doen. Je moet gewoon een stukje door weten.
Why are they there?
Dit hier zit zijn wat te doen.
They look like cables coming out, but they're really small, so they could also be nails going in.
Ja.
They could be they're a little rusty and a little cracked, so I don't want to pull at them. So this is similar to the other room in the other bunker with all the pipes and the firing port and the cables running through the walls. That would probably have been a switch, probably was. But the cables in the other room going through the floor, they're thicker. This is just was just an electrical cable. The ones in the hole in the wall would have been bigger. Painted the doorways. They really took time with all the creature comforts here.
Wat is dit dan? There's something in the wall.
That's a piece of metal rebar that's coming up because of the rust. All these walls are full of these steel to hold it together to make it strong. Unless, it's so rusted. It's so rusted. Sometimes it could also. What is it doing in the cement? Well, it must be rebar. You can't put a cable in there without a hole like that. That's where the cables would
Ga
run.
die kamer. Ga daar.
So I'm guessing come close to an entrance. I told you, you find a couple of kids that are local. Kids play around these places and they find out where everything is. These guys are just awesome. They remind me of me. A long time ago. So here's an exit. However, if you had a searchlight that would run with an engine or a little trolley or even a vehicle, a car, you could have the koelwagen in here. You would start it up in here. You would need ventilation to get the gas out if you had to sit in here for a while. So that makes sense. So this was probably something with the motor was in here. I think. Really curious. And this could have been an original sign. 1407. There's a few of these. It's not really how German. It could be original. I have to see. I don't know what that means.
Hoe komen die mensen hier dan in zonder voor het werden?
Als je vaak niet hoort dat dat ding op de grond
Ja, maar nergens is een gat.
This is the coolest little expression I've done in a good time. So this is similar to that other room.
En hier was het douche.
Yeah.
Uit douche is een toilet.
Je hebt wel veranderd.
Entirely impossible.
In de shower.
Well, it still smells like shit, so I would be surprised if people are not still taking a shit in here. So remember, if you spend the night in here, bring a shovel, dig a hole, take a shit, fill it up, otherwise it'll just stink. It's one of those important little things, you just dig a hole, don't just leave it.
Ja, anders kunnen we... Hoe heet Tino?
Vlekje.
Ja, Fred kunnen we begraven.
Ja.
We gaan vlekje begraven.
Ja, Jorn, we gaan Fred hier begraven. Jorn komt als een lat en die houdt in de gaten, maar zo lang niet. Ja, kan je geen nitraat afsteken eigenlijk? Misschien... Wat? Zou je misschien geen nitraat afsteken? Dan heb je gelijk... geen plek.
Cables running through everywhere. But there's no writing on the wall, which is really strange.
Is er een vuurpin?
I mean, you look at these tunnels. Just, this is so different. And then they just keep turning. This is absolutely awesome. I've never seen anything like this before in a World War II Atlantic wall bunker. This is just... I know you build with what you have, and this is what they had with brick, but this must have been an underground command post, fire control. So instead of having an open running trench, they would build this after the fact. But first they built the big bunkers to have a place to be inside for safety, and then as they had time, because they had time, when you see the walls and insulation, they had time to make this nice. Let's see what's down here. Okay. See, here you see the rebar in the, this is the typical German rebar in the cement. No wood, no, not wood. Which,
Jullie zijn mij toch niet geweest?
Ja, dat is ook wel geweest.
close defensive position.
Oh, dit zijn gewoon keien.
Had for a big wall.
Dit zijn gewoon keien.
En kijk, hier
We
ben je...
zijn er sowieso geweest, je ziet de Air Force. Ja, dan moet je hier zijn kopen.
Communication cable. And then you had an identical bunker
Hier zijn we ook geweest, dit is die stoel.
and a corroded pipe.
Ja, stuur.
And, yeah, here again. Stand for communication, close defensive, ventilation, pipe sticking out of the wall. I don't remember these two in the other buildings, in the other rooms that look like this.
Het ruikt niet lekker. Lekker geur.
So all of these buildings were the same.
Het ruikt hier lekkerder dan vlekje hoor.
Ja, Flex kan dan dus gebruiken.
Het kan wel een dingestijd. Oh, je moet een beetje met Fred ruiken.
Yeah, so this is the same room like the other one,
Ja.
but you have more room to the ceiling. And they put this up.
Oei. Dikke spin.
You make friends with these. So whatever was here had to be able to come out through this or these.
These small rooms continue to bother me. I keep wondering they look exactly like the rooms you would pull a searchlight or a puck into, just a little smaller. So I wonder if the brick walls to make an actual door entrance at the end were post-war.
All these are... Look at this insulation though. So that's, they insulated all of these and then plastered them. I wonder if there's any chance this was done after the war. I just don't see why.
So what exactly do I know now? Well, Marine Artillery Abteilung 205 was stationed here. They were crewing the large coastal batteries, and remember, these fortifications of the Atlantic Wall were not all built at the same time. They generally underwent 4 separate evolutions, one expansion each year starting from 1940. simply then by placing guns in the open pointing seawards, or using pre-war fortifications and barracks as they did here. Then, as plans developed and material became available, the bunkers were built or expanded, as were apparently the running trenches here were expanded and covered. And from that I can say that the brick tunnels were a later addition to the bunkers, covering the paths between them. That makes perfect sense. Now, if there was a small flak gun parked here in the back rooms, there would be a way to roll them up to a possible firing position on the roof, where this would be. It could also have been the room in the back was for a searchlight, but somehow I don't think so. My first guess was the light flak and its crew in these individual bunkers would be rolling out a bigger gate in the back that has later been bricked in, with the command and comms room by the far end by the commando bunker.
Ik wil echt zo net staan.
Maar ik wil zien, ik wil niet.
Oh, je kan helemaal
Oh nee, ik ga niet staan. Kijk al die spin, je houdt het bovenkant.
Oh, kut.
Oh shit, ik wil niet. Maar die
Ken
zijn
het.
Here's the next one.
waarschijnlijk is er echt al een paar hoofd.
Jordan zit spul.
Thanks, kids, showing me. There's nothing more awesome than locals, and especially when they're young, enthusiastic, and remind me a lot of me. This is the crack I saw inside. It might have been covered more, and this is another entrance with the hooks for camouflage netting. And there's another entrance. These are the tunnels we were in. But you have these exposed red brick tunnels, and you have another one, entrance there, entrance here, entrance over there, and all this is just one big bunker that's covered. That is the weirdest thing. This is never seen construction like this.
However, after having researched this in depth and tried to get a hold of anybody from the museum, what I could come up with was, this was 3 Mannschaft-Unterstand bunkers that was connected to a Gruppenunterstand, the command bunker, and the communication bunker, all connected now by the 500 meter of above ground tunnel. There's much more here to this area, but as it belongs to the museum and is thus locked, I did not want to trespass, and I will check in with them and see what we can find and show you of other things. But it does highlight the differences of the Atlantic Wall construction in the different countries, as they were built in different ways with different materials, depending on what was customary at the place, what was needed for camouflage, and what was available. We will continue the journey, but I had to bring you this because I loved these, and I did love the enthusiasm of the kids.
You know what? That's the most fun I had in a long time. Completely unexplored, unknown bunker complex, tunnels I've never seen, arches, red bricks, and all just thanks to, I was going to say local teenagers, but they're not local. They're here on somewhat of a holiday just as myself. Dying to find out, if I can, any more about this place. This was just really, really neat to see. Never seen anything on an Atlantic Wall that looks just like this. Hope you enjoyed it. Behind me is Vanna von Braun's first test stand. Down the road is Dietmar's nuclear reactor. Over there is the Maginot Line and all its amazing forts. I'm visiting them all and I'm bringing them to you. So I really appreciate you like, follow, and share what I'm doing, trying to document all these important historical locations. And if you feel like you want to watch more pictures or documents that I use for these, go to lostbattlefields.com. And if you feel like helping me out with my travels, because gasoline and travel and airfare is expensive, my PayPal is there, protectionserviceint.com. You are more than welcome, but you don't have to. I appreciate all your support and all your help, and I love seeing these locations, and I love bringing them to you.